Imagine you walk into a room, a kitchen, an office, a family dinner. You say hello. You don't argue. You don't brag. You didn't step on anyone's foot or insult anyone's mother. And yet, someone looks at you like you just committed a crime. Their face goes cold. Their voice turns sharp. Later you hear they said something about you, something unfair, something confusing. You check yourself. Your shirt is clean. Your breath is fine. Your words were polite. So what happened? Here is the uncomfortable truth most people never realize. They are not reacting to you. They are reacting to what you remind them of. And that is far more dangerous than anything you actually did. Stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you will never take someone's silent hatred personally again. You will stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start seeing clearly what's hurting inside them. Let's begin. Before we get to the 5 reasons, let me tell you the single shift this video will create in your mind. I want you to feel it, not just hear it. Most people live with this belief. If someone hates me, I must have done something wrong. That belief is heavy. It makes you walk on eggshells. It makes you replay conversations at 2 a.m. It makes you over-explain. It makes you shrink your personality until you are small and quiet and safe. And here is the worst part. Even when you shrink, some people still hate you. So the belief is wrong. Reason 1. Your silence speaks louder than their noise. Here is the first reason people hate you for no reason. You don't react. Carl Jung once said that people will project their own shadow onto anyone who stays still. Let me explain that in very simple words. Imagine a pot of boiling water. The water is loud. It bubbles and splashes. That is most people when they are angry or anxious. They need noise. They need agreement. They need you to jump into the pot with them. But if you stay still, if you don't jump, that makes them feel seen, and not in a good way. Let me give you a real situation. You are in a meeting at work. One person is complaining loudly about the boss. He says the boss is unfair. He says the boss plays favorites. He looks around the room for agreement. Everyone nods quickly. Everyone says, "Yeah, totally." Then you don't argue. You don't agree loudly. You just nod once and say, "I see what you mean." That silence? To him it feels like criticism. Because your calmness shows him how loud he is. And he doesn't want to see that. He wants everyone to be as angry as he is. Your calmness makes him feel alone in his anger. So what does he do? He does not change himself. That is too hard. Instead, he calls you arrogant, or weird, or cold. Later he tells a co-worker, "That person thinks they're better than us." You didn't say that. He did. Because your silence became a mirror, and mirrors hurt when you don't like what you see. Another example, family dinner. Your uncle starts a political fight. He is loud. His face is red. He says things that are not even true. Everyone else jumps in. They argue. They interrupt. The table becomes a war zone. You stay quiet. You eat your food. You say, once or twice. That is all. After dinner, your uncle pulls you aside. He says, "You think you're better than us, don't you?" No, you never said that. You never even disagreed. You just didn't fight. And that was enough to make him feel small, because your peace made his war look unnecessary. Every time you feel hated for being quiet, remember this. They are not angry at you. They are angry at their own loud emptiness. Your silence is not rudeness. It is a boundary. And people who hate boundaries will always call them arrogance. That is their problem, not yours. Reason 2, you are not playing their game. This is the deepest reason, and it comes from Friedrich Nietzsche. He spent years studying why groups turn on individuals who do nothing wrong. He said that most people live in a herd. The herd is not evil. It is just tired. The herd has unspoken rules. You must want the same things. You must dress the same way. You must be tired at the same time. You must complain about the same things. You must laugh at the same jokes. If the herd says, life is hard and nothing changes, you must nod. But when you step away from the herd, when you quietly start something new, the herd does not ignore you. The herd attacks you, and they call it concern or just being honest. Imagine a group of friends, 4 people. They all hate their jobs. Every Friday night they drink beer and say, life is hard, work is terrible, nothing ever gets better. That is their ritual. It makes them feel close. It makes their pain normal. Then there is you. You are in the same group. But one day you say, I'm starting a small business, just selling candles online. Small steps. You do not say they are wrong. You do not say their pain is fake. You just say what you are doing. Watch what happens. One friend says, oh, look at Mr. Perfect over here. Another says, must be nice to have no real problems. Another says, you'll fail anyway. Most small businesses fail. They are not hating your candles. They are not hating your business. They are hating that your action proves their suffering is a choice. And that truth is unbearable. So they punish you instead of changing themselves. There is actual research on this. It is called social identity theory. Studies show that groups punish members who deviate from the norm even more harshly than they punish outsiders. Why? Because an outsider is expected to be different. But you are one of them. Your difference makes the group feel unstable. It makes them ask, if she can change, why can't I? That question hurts, so they attack you to make the question go away. Let me give you a smaller example. You decide to wake up at 5 a.m. to walk or read. You don't tell anyone to do the same. You just do it. A friend or roommate finds out. They say, oh, you're one of those people now. Or, you think you're so disciplined. That small sarcastic comment, that is herd punishment. Your early morning shows them that their snooze button is a choice, and they don't want to see that choice, so they mock you instead. So if someone hates you for starting a hobby, or waking up early, or reading books instead of scrolling TikTok, do not stop. Do not argue. Do not explain yourself. Just keep going. Their discomfort is not your problem. It is their wake-up call that they are ignoring, and you cannot wake someone who is pretending to sleep. Reason 3. You exist without their permission. Let me tell you about Marcus Aurelius. He was a Roman emperor, one of the most powerful men on earth, and even he had enemies who hated him for no reason. He wrote in his personal journal, a book called Meditations, something very strange. He said, they hate me for no reason, then they hate themselves for hating me, then they hate me even more. He noticed a loop. First comes the hate, then comes the shame for hating without reason, then comes more hate to cover the shame. Here is the third reason people hate you. You are simply there. You exist. You breathe. You walk into a room with a relaxed face, and your presence reminds them of their own invisible chains. Think about a school or an office. There is always one person who walks in looking, okay, not perfect, not rich, not famous. Just okay. Relaxed shoulders, normal breathing, not trying too hard to be liked, not desperate for attention, just present. Most people respect that person, but 1 or 2 people will whisper, who does she think she is? Or, why is he so relaxed? Does he think he's special? That question is the clue. Who does she think she is? Let me translate that for you. It actually means, how dare she be calm when I am anxious? How dare she feel enough when I feel like nothing? Your calm existence becomes an accusation, not because you accused anyone, but because your peace shines a light on their panic. And light hurts when you have been living in a dark room for years. Here is a modern example. You post a photo of yourself smiling on a Tuesday afternoon. No filter, no fancy clothes, no vacation. Just a normal face on a normal day. You write, "Good morning." Someone comments, "Must be nice to have no problems." Or, "Some of us have real struggles." That comment is not about you. That is about them. They see your normal happiness and feel their own lack. Instead of working on their lack, they attack your happiness. It is easier and much sadder. So here is your freedom, inspired by Marcus Aurelius. Stop asking for permission to exist. You do not need to shrink to make others comfortable. Their comfort is their job, not yours. You are not a clown performing happiness for their approval. You are a human being allowed to simply be. If someone hates you for smiling on a Tuesday, let them. That is not your storm to calm. Reason 4. You reveal a truth they hide from themselves. Carl Jung is one of my favorite thinkers. He said that every person has a shadow. The shadow is not evil. The shadow is simply the part of themselves they refuse to see. Maybe they are secretly jealous. Maybe they are secretly lazy. Maybe they are secretly mean. Maybe they wanted to be a dancer but became an accountant. Maybe they wanted to write a book but never started. They push those feelings down, way down. They build a wall around them. But when they meet you, you accidentally pull those feelings up. Not because you try, but because you are living the life they buried. Let me tell you a story. A man named David. When David was young, he wanted to be an artist. He loved painting. He loved colors. But his father said, "Get a real job. Art is for children." So David became an accountant. He is good at it. He makes decent money. He tells himself every day, "I am happy. This is fine." Then David meets you. You are not rich. You are not famous. But you paint on weekends. You post your art online. Your art is not perfect. Sometimes only 10 people like it. But you are doing it. You are not waiting. David will suddenly feel angry. He does not understand why. He might say to you, "Art is a waste of time," or "You'll never make money from that," or "Why don't you grow up?" He is not talking to you. He is talking to the younger version of himself that he killed, and you are the ghost he cannot escape. Your paintbrush is his gravestone. Here is a smaller version. You tell a friend, "I lost 2 kilos this month," or "I wrote 10 pages of my book," or "I learned to cook 1 new meal." That friend rolls their eyes. They say, "Wow, congratulations, want a medal?" That eye roll is the shadow. Your small win reminds them of their own small stuckness. They have not lost weight. They have not written anything. They have not learned anything. And instead of saying "good for you," they say something cold, because your growth is their mirror. And mirrors are heavy when you are avoiding yourself. Jung said that the only way to deal with someone else's shadow is to not get pulled into it. Do not defend yourself. Do not explain. Do not fight. Because if you fight their shadow, you will become a shadow too. Instead, quietly keep going. Not to prove anything, not to make them jealous, but because your life is yours, and their shadow is theirs to deal with. You cannot heal someone by becoming smaller. Reason 5. You do not need them. This last reason is the one most people never admit, but it is the most common reason of all. Some people hate you because you are not desperate for their approval. Let that sink in. They are not angry because you hurt them. They are angry because you don't need them to feel okay. Think about this. Have you ever met someone who got angry because you didn't say thank you loudly enough? Or because you didn't invite them to a small event? Or because you seemed too independent? Or because you made a decision without calling them first? That anger comes from one place. They wanted to feel important, and you did not give them that power. Nietzsche called this the will to power. He said, every person wants to feel powerful. Every person wants to feel that their life matters. That is normal. But some people only know one way to feel important: by being needed by you. If you need their advice, they feel strong. If you need their approval, they feel safe. If you need their help every week, they feel useful. But when you are fine alone, when you make decisions without calling them, when you do not chase their validation, when you say no thank you calmly, you take away their toy, and they will call you selfish, cold, arrogant, or weird. Imagine a neighbor. She is not a bad person, but she has a pattern. She asks for small favors often: borrow sugar, watch her dog for an hour, help with her computer. You help sometimes because you are kind. You are not a mean person, but one day you are tired. You have your own work. She asks for something and you say, "Not today, I'm busy. Sorry." That neighbor now tells another neighbor, "They are so unfriendly lately. I don't know what happened." Why? Because you showed her that her power over you was imaginary. You were never dependent on her. You were just being polite. And polite is not the same as needy. But she cannot tell the difference. So she calls you cold. Another example. A friend always gives you advice. You never asked for it. But she tells you what to wear, what job to take, who to date. You listen politely. But one day you make a decision without her advice, a small decision, what to eat for breakfast. She says, "Oh, you didn't ask me." And her voice is cold. That coldness is hatred without a reason. The real reason is, you didn't need me. And that makes me feel small. Here is the release. You do not have to be mean. You do not have to cut people off. But you also do not have to perform neediness to make others feel strong. Let them feel their feelings. That is their work. If someone hates you because you don't need them to survive, let them hate. That hate is just the sound of chains they refuse to remove from their own hands. You are not their caretaker. You are not their emotional medicine. Before we finish, let me pause for a quiet 10 seconds. Take a breath if you are watching. You might be thinking something very reasonable. You might be thinking, but some people really hate me because I made a mistake. How do I know the difference between real hate and my own fault? That is a fair question. Let me give you a simple rule. A rule you can use today. Rule number 1. If you made a mistake, you yelled, you lied, you forgot something important, and the person tells you calmly, "Hey, that hurt me. Can we talk?" That is not hatred. That is communication. That is a relationship. That is healthy. Rule number 2. If you made a mistake and they punish you silently for days, they give you cold looks, they gossip about you, they say mean things behind your back but never to your face, they cannot explain what you did wrong when you ask, that is not communication. That is projection. That is their wound wearing your name. You can apologize for real mistakes. You should. That is called being a good human. But never apologize for existing quietly, growing slowly, being calm, or feeling enough without their permission. That is not a mistake. That is a threat to their unhealed story. And you are not responsible for their story. So here we are, back at those final sentences I promised you at the very beginning. Most people spend years asking, why does everyone hate me? They change their clothes to fit in, their voice, their opinions, their hobbies, their dreams. They shrink and shrink and shrink until they almost disappear. And somehow, they still get hated by someone. That is the tragedy of taking everything personally. The truth is harder to hear. But once you hear it, it becomes freedom. Not everyone hates you for what you did. Some hate you for what you remind them they have lost, their dreams, their courage, their calm, their honesty, their ambition, their peace. You did not steal those things. They buried them themselves. and you accidentally walked near the grave. You are not responsible for their broken mirror. Marcus Aurelius said it best almost 2,000 years ago. He said, "Choose not to be harmed, and you are not harmed. What hurts is your opinion of it." So here is your transformation. The next time someone looks at you with cold eyes for no reason, the next time you hear a rumor you don't understand, the next time someone says something sharp and walks away, do not ask yourself, "What is wrong with me?" Ask softly, in your own mind, with the same calm you would offer a child crying for no reason, "What is hurting them that they cannot name?" And then keep walking, not with arrogance, not with revenge, with quiet mercy, for them, and mostly for yourself, because you were never the problem, you were just the mirror. And mirrors don't break people. People break when they are finally forced to see. If this video changed one small thing in you, the way you carry yourself today, the way you sleep tonight, then do not subscribe for more facts. Subscribe because the next video will answer a different pain, a deeper one. A video called How to Stay Kind When the World Rewards Cruel People. Because you are not here to become hard. You are not here to become cold. You are here to become clear. Clear about who you are. Clear about what is yours to carry. Clear about what belongs to someone else's unhealed heart. And that is a different path altogether. A quieter one, a harder one, but a freer one. Click the next video on your screen. Let's walk that path together.